What's up everybody and welcome back to another episode of Power Rankings with IBM Watson. I'm Reinforce and I'm back here again to tell you about how all my Preds just went completely wrong this past week. I mean, what an epic week one of the June Joust we were given to us. A lot of matches went the way that people didn't really expect them to. I mean, the New York Excelsior beat the Philadelphia Fusion, the Paris Eternal beat the Washington Justice. Of course, this all shook up the power rankings with IBM Watson. So we're going to take a look at what changed. What changed from the main melee, and what are some indications, maybe some narratives we can come up with moving forward that will follow throughout this June Joust tournament. Let's just jump straight into it for our team rankings. We actually have the Atlanta Reign joining the top 10, and moving up, they're rising. Looking really good so far in this meta. Double shield suits them fantastically. Kai on that hitscan role. We know from last year when he was on the Valiant that he's a really good player. The Atlanta Reign picked him up, of course. And then Pelican as well. Pelican on the Echo. He is just fantastic. But the tank line is another duo that is really looking good for the Atlanta Reign. So this is a meta that Atlanta Reign are really thriving in because they can play slower and they can facilitate their damage play, and we're really seeing that in the rankings so far. 19 and 21 for Hawk and Gator. Obviously not the highest of highs, but they're moving up in the world, and I'm expecting more great things from the Atlanta Reign to come in the June Joust, especially given what we've seen so far from them. The Boston Uprising, they're up to 12th after a 2-0 week. This is a team that I was bullish on going into this season. A bit of a dark horse in my opinion. I like the pickups they made. They picked up, almost half a team from Korean contenders. So there's some predetermined synergy here. They played with each other before, and now Gabe Bullsey also joins the mix, replacing Punk for the majority of playtime. Particularly with the backline for the Boston Uprising, I've been impressed with. I think that Faith is a bit of an underrated main support in the league, and I think that Myeonbong also looks really good. So the backline for the Boston Uprising, they are 21 and 22 on the support rankings themselves. So keep an eye on those two, because we know that Myeonbong is fantastic of a player, dating back to last year. And then Faith alongside him, that's a really good support duo. I think they're gonna rise a bit, so keep an eye on the Boston Uprising. 12th in the team rankings for them. Hangzhou Spark, they are at number 13 in the team rankings, and they also had a 2-0 week. Of course, they beat the Shanghai Dragons, where they looked really good. They got this composition and team identity to them already in week 1 of the June Joust. I really like what I'm seeing from them so far. They're playing this Reaper composition, really compact play style, and they utilize this to sometimes get an advantage, deal with the enemy tank line, and then you can also engage with the Reaper. You can teleport forward and go with the Winston and Diva. So the Hangzhou Spark, keep an eye on them. I think they'll have a good stage as well here in the June Joust. Now moving on to our player rankings. I already mentioned him, but Pelican looks incredible in this meta. We heard so much about Pelican going into this season. The Atlanta Reign, they snagged him up alongside Kai, and now we have a really good DPS duo on our hands. Pelican comes in as number 11 on the damage rankings after this week 1 where he played a ton of Echo, and he looked so good while doing it. I'm pretty sure during the London Spitfire series, multiple maps, he had twice the damage on Echo that is London Spitfire counterpart. So things are looking really good with the Atlanta Reign, and Pelican is definitely a player that you want to keep your eye on moving forward. Now, Guangzhou has also risen to number 15 on the tank rankings after Hangzhou go 2-0. And this is another player that we've talked about for a long time now. Obviously, Guangzhou, he's been around at this point. He's been in the league multiple years as one of the standout Chinese main tanks. Obviously, Gaga now joins for the Chengdu Hunters, but Guangzhou, he was really the OG when it came to the Chinese main tank. So things are looking really good for him as well. This is another one that I think could rise pretty good in the June Joust. He already climbed 8 rankings compared to the last rankings we had with the main melee. So this is a versatile player that is predominantly playing Winston now, and now I am worried that some of these teams are going to deviate. They're going to start playing more Orisa, maybe some double shield, we'll see. And how is Guangzhou going to fare then? But number 15 now for Guangzhou, so things are looking really good for the Hangzhou Spark. Also taking a look at the Chengdu Hunters, Gaga and Elsa, they are at number 8 and number 9. That's a pretty solid tank line you have over in the APAC region. Obviously, they struggle a little bit this past week. They lost brutally to the Shanghai Dragons, got 0-3. But they played some nice compositions. I like what I saw from the Chengdu Hunters. They had some right ideas at the time. So I'm not going to completely count out the Chengdu Hunters just yet. So that is also another tank line to keep your eyes on in the player rankings by IBM Watson. That is going to do it for week 1 of the June Joust. Obviously, a very exciting week behind us with a lot of upsets, a lot of ruined Preds, mine included. And that is obviously reflected in the power rankings with IBM Watson, with all the statistics flying around everywhere. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Is there any player you found on the IBM Watson power ranking that climbed or perhaps fell down a little bit? An interesting storyline. If you see an interesting storyline, point that out to me. And I'll be sure to take a look at it myself going into next week as well. If you want to stay updated on the IBM Watson power rankings, well, every Wednesday I'll upload a video here on the Overwatch League YouTube channel where I go through them. I find some nice storylines. But if you want to take a look at them yourself, you can go to the overwatchleague.com website, and the rankings are updated there every Monday about noon PST. That's Pacific time, okay? So around noon there, we update the power rankings with IBM Watson, and you can take a look at them yourself. But I'll always be here on Wednesdays with a fresh video walking you through them here on the Overwatch League YouTube channel. So let me know what you think down in the comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next week after some more fantastic Overwatch coming your way this weekend. Stay tuned, everybody.